What to eat and not to eat if you have gout? Well, gout is probably not the most common or known disease, but those who have it can really suffer very serious pain. It is diagnosed by measuring uric acid in blood. And one of the main things that can be done to reduce these levels is to correct your diet. And how do you do that? Well, the most common advice that is given to gout patients is to reduce foods that contain high amounts of purines. Well, some of these foods are foods that you probably don't eat, and I have a nice list here on my computer because there's many foods we need to consider. Some of these are, for instance, kidneys, liver, brains, even the tongue. I mean, some people eat it, but I'm not sure it's very popular. But then, in the list of high purine foods that you should try to avoid or minimize if you have gout, there's also some other very common foods like mollusks, for instance, mussels, caviar, other fish eggs, or for instance, herrings, mackerel, and even sardines. And these are also very healthy foods because they are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. But if you have gout, you should try to avoid them. Then there's also some other foods which still contain purines, but at the, let's say, medium level. And these include different types of foods, for instance, red meat, but also poultry, legumes, although for legumes I would do an exception, eel, trout, and also mushrooms. These foods that I just mentioned can be reduced, but you don't need to avoid them completely. And when it comes to legumes, as I said, would do an exception and still keep eating them on a regular basis because they are still vegetarian foods. All remaining foods that I haven't mentioned can be eaten without problems because they don't contain so much purine. So you probably guessed if you follow a vegetarian diet, then it might be beneficial. It will probably be beneficial for your gout symptoms. So all, like for instance, fruit, most vegetables, not legumes, but as I said, you can have them anyway, eggs, all dairy products, and also oils and other types of fats can be consumed without any problems. One thing you really need to keep in mind if you have gout is that alcohol is really toxic. So if you have a glass of wine, that can really cause a lot of troubles for you. So considering how painful gout can be, I would stay away from alcohol. So if you want to know more about this, ask me by commenting on this video and see you in the next one.